Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if your dog has a mood or if that squirrel is just naturally grumpy? Well, this new commentary is going to change how you think about animal quirks. This paper isn't about a specific experiment, but more of a big picture think piece about how scientists study animal personality. The authors Réale, Dall, and Dingemanse are pointing out a really important distinction that can help us understand this whole topic much better. So, what is this crucial point? They're saying that when we talk about animal personality, we shouldn't think of it as a list of fixed traits like brave, shy, or aggressive. Instead, they argue that personality is more like a class of variation. Think about it this way. Imagine you are measuring how far a group of dogs explore an unfamiliar room. Some dogs go far, some stay close. Those actual distances are behavioral traits. But personality, according to these authors, is why there is a difference between those dogs. It is the underlying consistent pattern of variation across many behaviors. It is the fact that a dog that's bold in the room might also be bold when meeting new dogs or trying new food. It is the repeatable variation in behavior. This is a really neat way to put it. They're saying personality isn't just about what an animal does, but about how consistently it does it across different situations and over time. And importantly, how much that behavior varies between individuals. This is where the commentary gets really exciting. The author of this review, Weiss, sees this definition as a potential bridge. For years, scientists studying animals in the wild, focusing on their evolution and ecology, have used different tools and language than psychologists who study human personality or animal personality in labs. This new way of thinking about personality as a class of variation could unite these fields. In the human world, when psychologists talk about personality traits, they often mean something quite specific. They're looking for underlying stable tendencies that explain consistent patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior. And the way they talk about this variation depends on their statistical models. In old school thinking, it's called true score variance, meaning the part of your score that truly reflects your personality, not just random blips. In newer, more flexible models, it's called latent trait variance, the hidden underlying tendency that influences what we observe. You might also hear it called reliable variance, meaning the dependable, consistent part of the variation. This is a key insight. Even though animal behavior folks might use a tool called mixed effects modeling and psychology folks might use factor analysis, these tools are doing fundamentally the same thing under the hood. They are both trying to find underlying patterns and explain the variation they see. They can even translate between these methods. So, a complex idea like looking for a general personality factor that influences many behaviors along with smaller specific factors that influence just a few can be handled by both approaches. A bifactor model in factor analysis, for example, is like finding a big general personality tendency like boldness that affects lots of things, plus some smaller, more specific tendencies like boldness around objects or boldness in social situations. The real difference then boils down to what they are measuring in the field or lab. A behavioral ecologist might measure how fast a bird crosses an open space, while a comparative psychologist might measure how a rat responds to a novel stimulus. But the underlying concept of personality as a source of consistent, individual variation can be applied to both. Many researchers have tried to connect these different ways of studying personality. But this commentary, by clarifying the definition of personality as a class of variation, has really hit the nail on the head. It provides that much needed conceptual bridge. This unification is a huge deal. It means we can finally start talking about animal and human personality evolution in a much more integrated way. Scientists who study the evolution of traits in animals can now directly connect their findings to the well-established research on human personality. What does this mean for us? It means we can finally ask really big questions together. For example, we can better understand how personality traits evolve across species, what makes them stable, and how they influence an animal's or a human's success in life. It opens up a whole new avenue for research. Now, my take on this. I think this commentary is brilliant because it cuts through a lot of jargon and gets to the core of what makes animal personality research so fascinating. By defining personality as the reliable variation between individuals, it makes the idea accessible to everyone. It's not just about what animals do, but about the unique ways they express themselves and how those differences are passed down or shaped by their environment. The strength here is that it's not proposing new experiments, but a new way of thinking about existing ones, and crucially, a way to connect diverse research fields. This is how science progresses by refining our definitions and building bridges between different areas of knowledge. What are the limitations? Well, it is a conceptual paper, so it doesn't offer new empirical data. It relies on synthesizing existing research. The real test will be how researchers adopt this definition. Will it change how they design studies and analyze their data? The implications are massive. It means we can have a more cohesive understanding of why some individuals are more risk-taking, some are more social, and some are more cautious. Whether we're talking about a lion, a sparrow, or your neighbor, it helps us understand the evolutionary pressures that might favor certain personality types in different environments. Future research could focus on applying this definition across a vast range of species and behaviors, rigorously testing whether this class of variation perspective holds up and provides deeper insights into personality evolution than previous approaches. It is an exciting time for anyone interested in the inner lives of animals, and indeed ourselves. What do you think about this? Does this new definition of personality make sense to you? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into animal psychology, please give this video a like, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Thanks for watching.